Welcome to the another session. This is the part 4 and we are covering the chapter number 2, kings, farmers and towns. So let's start today's session. This is the question. The political power of kingship was rarely depend on birth of kshatriyas, but also open to everyone who could muster support and resources. Explain this statement with the examples from 6th century BC onwards. So this question has been asked in 8 marks in 2025 main examination. So this question is only asking about that even though there was certain rules in Manusmriti that only Kshatriyas can become rulers, but even though there are many evidence that suggest that many other people who were not belonging from Kshatriya clan, they also become the they also become the rulers of the kingdom, right? So we have to just give some evidence that not only kshatriyas, even the other community people also getting the political power in history. So we just introduce this question. The brahmanical shastras prescribed that only kshatriyas could be king. However, evidence shows that political power was often open to anyone who could gather support and resources regardless of Varna. Okay, so first example you should give about the Maurya. It is said that Mauryan Empire, that is Chandragupta Maurya, was not belonging from Kshatriya clan, right? It is described in many Buddhist and Jaina texts that he was belonging from Maurya clan, right? That is having some humble origin, that is having some lower origin, you can say, right? But also they become the rulers of Magad, right? Another example you can give after the Mauryan Empire, the Sungas and Kanvas dynasty ruled the country, that is Magadhan Empire, right? And both of them were Brahmanas, right? They were not Kshatriyas, right? Then some of them were Sakas who were belonging from outside of India, right? Central Asia से belong करते थे ये Saka. And Brahmanas of India were considering them as Malecha. And Malecha is a derogatory term, right? And you can consider it as an outsider. Although they were not belonging from the Indian Varna system, they also established powerful kingdom in India, right? Example, Rudradaman. He was a famous Saka ruler, right? So these evidence shows that not only Kshatriya, anyone can become the political rulers, even though they do not belong to Kshatriya clan. Another example is of Satavahana. Satavahana rulers Gautami Putra Sri Satkarni, right? He was claiming that he is Brahmana, right? And also claiming that he is the destroyer of Kshatriya pride, right? मीन्स क्षत्रिय को डिस्ट्रॉय करने का, उनकी जो प्राइड है, उनका जो गर्व है, उनको डिस्ट्रॉय करने का आप कह सकते हैं, वो क्लेम करते थे कि मैंने क्षत्रिय के गर्व को चूर चूर कर दिया, राइट? तो this example demonstrate that military might, strategic alliance and control over resource were often more important, है ना? जिसके पास ज़्यादा पावर हो, जिसके पास अलायंसेस ज़्यादा हो, जिसके पास ज़्यादा रिसोर्सेस हो, ये ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट रखता था एक राजा बनने के लिए, ना कि क्षत्रिय होना इतना इम्पोर्टेंट था, राइट? ठीक है। एंड these resources were used to claim the status of क्षत्रिय। जब भी ये सारे रूलर्स जो लोअर ओरिजिन के होते थे या फिर ब्राह्मणाज होते थे, अपनी सारी रिसोर्सेस, अपनी पावर का इस्तेमाल करके वो किसी न किसी तरह कोशिश करते थे कि वो अपनी क्षत्रिय स्टेटस को गेन कर लें, राइट? विद द हेल्प ऑफ रिचुअल्स, right? With the help of giving donations, right? Like this. So this is the question. Another question is talking about describe the economic and social condition of rural people from 600 BC to 600। तो गांव के लोगों का इकोनॉमिक कंडीशन और सोशल कंडीशन पूछा जा रहा है। तो दिस इज द क्वेश्चन दैट इज नॉट आस्क्ड इन द एग्जामिनेशन, बट इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, right? It can be asked, That's why I included this question. So, what was the economic condition? The first one is king often impose high taxes. So, the peasants were often identifying these taxes as a you can say oppressive, and these are mentioned in the texts like Jataka and Panchtantra, right? Then uh, agricultural productivity increased through the use of iron plowshare. So people started using iron plowshare. ये है plowshare, इसके नीचे आयरन लगाए जाने लगे, और यहाँ का जो इरिगेशन सिस्टम था that was improved. Because of that, the activity of agriculture increased, the productivity increased. So many of the people started earning more money. Hence, king also charges more taxes from the peasants. Next is land grants became common, right? Many of the king were granting land to the brahmanas, right? Why? To write prasasti about the king. तो राजा की तारीफ लिखने के लिए कई सारे ब्राह्मणास को जमीन ग्रांट करते थे राजा, राइट? कई जगह पर यह भी देखने को मिला कि जब भी राजा कमज़ोर होता था, राइट, तब जो सामंताज होते थे के दरबार में, दे स्टार्टेड बिकमिंग पावरफुल, एंड समटाइम्स दे इवन डिक्लेयर देमसेल्फ एज अ इंडिपेंडेंट, राइट? कई बार राजा जब अपनी ज़मीन कंट्रोल नहीं कर पाता था, तो वो अपनी ज़मीन जो है सामंत को दे दिया करते थे, ठीक है, बदले में कुछ फेवर लेके, राइट? तो दिस इज द economic condition. Now come to the social condition. Social condition, obviously, society was divided in social hierarchy like landless labor, small peasants, and large landlords. Right? In South India, they were called Vellalar, Uzavar, and Adimai. Right? These are the three category people. It is mentioned in the Tamil text, that is Sangam literature. Okay. सोशल डिफरेंसेस ऑफन अक्रॉस ड्यू टू अनइक्वल एक्सेस ऑफ लैंड। ऑब्वियस सी बात है, आज भी अगर लोग गरीब हैं तो क्यों गरीब हैं? क्योंकि रिसोर्सेस उनके पास कम है। उस समय भी लोग जो गरीब होते थे उनके पास ज़मीन बराबर नहीं होती थी, किन्हीं के पास ज़मीन ज़्यादा होता था, किसी के पास कम होता था। दैट्स वाई पीपल वर हैविंग सोशल डिफरेंसेस। द टर्म गहपति रेफर टू द हेड ऑफ द हाउस होल्ड। सो Gahapati is referred as the household, right? So look at this picture also. You can look at here. These are the people who are, you can say, uh, Adimai. You can consider slaves, and this one is Uzawar plowman, right? And you can consider him as a Vellalar, right? Or Gahapati is a term which refers the head of household. तो अपने घर के जो मालिक होते थे, जो पर्सन होते थे, उन्हें गहापति कहा जाता था। Women typically had limited property rights. Women do not have uh, land rights. Certain examples, exceptions are there, but generally women do not have the right on property, right? So it indicates the gender inequality. So this is the whole answer. You write it and remember it. Coming to the next question, describe briefly the sources used for reconstructing the history of Gupta rulers. So there is a very famous ruler, that is Samudragupta, right? And he belonged from the Gupta Empire. So about him, it is asking that about the Gupta rulers, how we can know, right? So there are many sources. The first one is inscription, and Allahabad pillar inscription is very famous. That is called Prayag Prasasti, written by Harisena, right? Look at here. This inscription is talking about the Gupta Empire. Okay, so another one is coins. Gupta rulers were very much efficient in issuing gold coins, right? So many coins having certain inscription, image of kings, right? Okay. So these coins give very much details about trade, economy, and the governance. Another one is literature. Historians use prasastis. Prasasti, what is prasasti? A document that is written in the praise of a king, right? Although these prasastis are not factually correct, many of the informations are exaggerated, but then also historians read these prasasti, right? So, example is Prayag Prasasti. Detailed account of Samudragupta conquest is given in this Prasasti, right? So we know about the deeds of the rulers in these Prasasti. Okay. So here is a follow-up question. Again, this is related with the previous question. How has coinage played a valuable role in determining certain period of Indian history? So look at here. Again, this is the introduction, and then you will write about the punch mark coin. So look at here. Many of the coin are punch mark coin. What is punch mark coin? These are the coins that are often made of metals and they are pressed after heating it, right? ये जो डिजाइंस बने हैं ये प्रेसिंग करने के बाद बने हैं, इसलिए इसे हम पंच मार्क कॉइन कहते हैं। ये जो कॉइन्स होते हैं इट शोज द कमर्शियल नेटवर्क्स कि कौन से एरियाज से वो ट्रेड करते थे, ट्रेड रूट क्या था वो हमें पता चलता है। अपार्ट फ्रॉम इट दीज पंच मार्क पॉइंट ऑल्सो शोज अस अबाउट द रूलिंग डायनेस्टीज, कौन सी डायनेस्टी का ये कॉइन है, राइट? Image and names of rulers are also mentioned on the coins. Then we know about that who introduced the first gold coin, that is Kushana's ruler, right? So because of coin we know that Kusanas were very wealthy and prosperous people, right? Apart from it, Roman coins found in South India, it is also indicating the trade link with Roman Empire. Then Guptas were issuing pure gold coins, right? That is also very much helpful in long distance trade. Okay, this one is one more question. Uh, let's discuss it also. Explain the system of land grants and trade from 6th century BC to 6th century CE. तो लैंड ग्रांट्स कैसे दिए जाते थे लोगों को, आप सभी को पता है। जस्ट मैंने आपको बताया कि राजा जो है वो ब्राह्मणास को लैंड ग्रांट दिया करते थे, एंड दीज लैंड्स वर एग्जेम्प्टेड फ्रॉम द टैक्सेस। जो भी जमीन दान में दी जाती थी उस पर टैक्स नहीं लगाया जाता था। वुमेन के पास लैंड की एक्सेस नहीं होती थी, राइट? बट सम वुमेन लाइक एरिस्टोक्रेटिक वुमेन लाइक प्रभावती गुप्ता, डॉटर ऑफ चंद्रगुप्त सेकेंड, owned the land, right? So you must mention this exception. Then some of the historians believe that these lands were given to the peasants to extend agriculture to the new areas. Take an example, if some areas are very much forested, so king is giving land, that forested land, to the peasants. Go and do agriculture. Why? Because when this is forest, there is no revenue generated from there. But once it got cleared by the peasants, revenue started generating and it is coming in the coffers of king, right? Now king also used land grants to win allies or strengthen their control over samantas. So sometimes land are given to lure the samantas, right? They attract them, they make allies, they make uh, strong hold with that samantas. So for this purpose, they are giving land grants. Trade, it is asking about trade route. So in India, trades are carried over land and river because the subcontinent is filled with many rivers, right? And land routes. Many of the rulers try to control these routes. Why? So that they can collect payments or taxes from the traders. Merchants were traveling in caravans. They were not traveling alone. They were traveling with many peoples, right? And they were carrying goods like salt, grain, textile, spices. Many of the traders were seafarers, right? They were taking goods across the Mediterranean Sea or the Arabian Sea, right? And selling it into the another country. Okay. So some of the merchants were very much wealthy. Some names are given in Tamil. They called money gramam, right? Sethis in Prakrit. They were highly influential people, right? They were having so much amount of money, even they were influencing the political activities of that time. Okay, so these were the question, and we are coming to the end of the second chapter also. In the next lecture, we are going to start the third chapter. For today, that is enough. Thank you. We will meet again in the next session.